All right, folks. So this is FearGorm with my co-caster Harlequin, and we have Sounder, the Protoss player spawning at the 6 o'clock position, versus our random player Burnslough, who is spawning for the second time in a row as Zerg on Lost Temple at the second best positions he could hope for. So, what do you think of this?
Yeah, I saw, you said this last time, and I really hope Burnslough does this time, which is to use his Overlord to scout his adjacent position, but then as soon as he gets sight of a Nexus, just back it away. Don't even give away his race or position or anything. That's one of the best things that a random player can do, is to just try to nonchalantly scout, especially if they're Zerg, they can get away with it. So this is the best position for him, or at least a good position for him, because he has the air attack route open by going back to back, but at the same time he's got a very long rush distance, so it offers him a good amount of, at least a little extra timing buffer for like the 4-gate attack that he's going to have to look out for. Whereas he'd have to really worry about that if it was immediately above him or something to that effect. So this is probably one of the better. Cross position would be best, but back to back isn't too bad, especially if he's going to favor going for air units again. But
and Sounder actually scouted to the closed air positions first, so that was strange. That was rather bizarre, because I would have expected him to actually go to the top of his base, see if there was an Overlord there, and then scout to the close and then the cross positions like most players do. But he scouted straight to the closed air positions, got really, really lucky. So I'm wondering what the rationale was there. I'm going to have to ask him after. But he knows what's up now. He knows the race. He knows what the odds are. And it could be a very similar situation to Scrap Station this time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, even though the outcome was favorable, I think that it was a bad move to scout in that direction first, which sounds weird because it paid off really well. But, a bad bet is a bad bet, even if it works out in your favor.
Yeah,
I think you should always do what you said, which is just keep an eye on your back door, but scout the close one first and then scout across map. But hey, whatever, man. It worked out for him, so why not? So Burnslough looks like going really late for anything. He's just getting, looks like maybe, I don't know, he's at 16 right now with just a spawning pool, but he's got no gas whatsoever. So I'm curious where he's going with this. If you're not going to get an expansion, get gas now. So hopefully he'll put up an expansion right about now, because he's at 300. There he goes. He could have had that. He could have had that unit out there a little earlier though to build it right away. Instead, now he's 100 over, waiting to build it. So, but need to see some gas, need to see some units. But he's got the general idea of the build order. But again, I think that's kind of hallmark of a random player, is that he just doesn't quite have all the little intricacies down.
Absolutely, and I really am a big fan of how Sounder opened actually with his base construction. So he did what I said he should have done last time, which is actually put his pylon not all the way up in the front for a committed wall, but put it closer to the front so that you can at least execute a wall if you find out that your opponent is something like Zerg. And he did that. Now he has a nice secure wall that's not vulnerable to Ling run-bys anymore, and has a little bit of a slot for the Zealot to just split in there. Ooh, and the Zealot almost catching the drone, but not quite there. If he microed a little bit, he would have caught it. But he is saving up that chrono boost, so Harlequin, I think we're going to see a similar play that we saw last time.
Yeah, definitely. And Sino was pointing out to me, he's researching the wrong technology. He's got air weapons level 1 being researched, which he's even chrono boosting it very, very enthusiastically. So I hope he knows what he's doing, but I can't even imagine a single world in which that's the right move. That's a total blunder on his part. Hopefully he'll pick up on that and get the warp gate research going pretty soon. I'm surprised he could even afford air weapons right away like that too. You'd think that would normally flag it, but oops.
Oh, no, my dear Harlequin. This is obviously the +1 carrier rush.
Yeah, I guess so. This is day 9 Fun Day Monday carrier rush. He's just getting ready for it.
Wait, what? He actually got a Stargate, so
maybe he is planning on...
I was totally joking, but...
Maybe he is planning on doing that then. Who knows? He just won the last game. He only needs to win this game, so he has a little bit of leeway with this second game. Maybe he's thinking, I'll cheese him with a weird little air rush. Maybe he's going to go for just straight-up Void Rays with upgrades. I can't imagine you'd need level 1 air weapons to be able to swing that, though. But, hey...
You sort of have to wonder what the place of the upgrade is in this case. Yeah, this is very, very interesting. And the cool thing is, what he did actually is save up the chrono boost in the beginning, and the Overlord was sitting right over the Nexus, so he saw that he had full chrono boost. So he had to be expecting, if he's a smart Zerg player, that, okay, there's going to be a 4-gate or 5-gate kind of push coming out. But no, instead he's using all that chrono boost on his Stargate tech and his economy, and is going to have +1 Void Ray. So I'm really interested to see what's going on, because I'm not sure if he needed to get +1. He could have just invested in more of an economy so he could get more Void Rays instead of a
I
single
couldn't
Void
agree
Ray.
more. I think if you're gonna win with a Void Ray, you're gonna win with a 0/0 Void Ray just as well as you will with a 1/1 Void Ray. But maybe
Exactly.
he's expecting a bunch of Queen resistance and he needs that extra damage. But usually, if you get an upgrade, you have a reason for it. Like you get a level 1 weapons because your Zealots can two-shot a Ling, or you get level 2 weapons because your Colossus can one-shot a Ling. Things like that are in mind, not just I want level 1 weapons. So I wonder what his rationale is if he has some quantitative number that he's looking for, or quantitative advantage that'll give him. Maybe he's anticipating lots of queens, which there are 3 queens in his defense. So, and we do have a Spire going up for Burnslough on the back of his
Yeah.
base right now, so he's well on the way to the exact same build. And this is a build that I do love a lot, which is that he's got 3 gas, which is the perfect number to get about 5 or 6 birds in the air right away. So I would expect him to have about 6 mutas within the next minute or so.
Yeah, and by now he has to suspect something curious is going on because the timing is sort of closing. Oh, and that drone, Ehan drone scout, going right across the perimeter of the base. Gonna see those Void Rays coming in. Oh, he needs to get those queens up. Yes, he has 3 queens. I think he's gonna be fine, but we'll see if that +1 makes a difference. Honestly, I don't think it will, though. And those Void Rays have to hightail it out of there. And once the mutas get out, it's gonna be a big, big problem for the Protoss because Void Rays are just absolutely terror bad versus Mutalists.
Yep, he needs to get some charge up right now, and those queens are just going to get the flank on him. He needs to get out of there. He's just charging too much. Honestly, he was too non-committal about it. He had a charge right as he retreated the first time he pushed in. Look at him expanding that creep really aggressively. I
Beautiful.
wanted to see him just either commit and focus those queens down and hope that the charge was enough to do it, or just get out right away. But as a result, now he has 1 really wounded Void Ray, and I don't know. I don't think that's going to work for him at all.
Yeah, and he's floating a lot of minerals, hitting 1K minerals very, very briefly there. He's just making more Void Rays now. He's getting some Phoenixes out. I guess that's the best move he can make in the position because Phoenixes are just so good against Mutalisks. It can kite them into eternity. But, I mean, he doesn't have any ground force, and he doesn't really have any way to pressure the Zerg expansion. So, honestly, the Zerg player, he could just drone up, get enough Mutalisks to deal with the air, and expand because he's not under kind of pressure or duress.
And so
And
here's
I
about the
think the
six